for whatever reason, I'll all the volume that's plugged in is quiet on the headphones. I don't know why. Earbuds, headphones, I'll restart my computer, same problem. And then some days I'll just snap my fingers and it's fine. And I have no idea why or what. It's totally random. So
Okay,
anyway.
That's good to know because I thought it was my end because
No.
turned down the gain and I was like,
no, the less I hear of you, the better. Maybe that's
yeah.
no. It's you're totally fine.
I have a lot of questions. I wrote down a full page worth.
Sure, it'll be nice because obviously we don't have to go over the same stuff because we've already had a session. So whatever's come up since last time.
So where do we start? To be honest, there are like a lot of general questions as well.
Start anywhere.
Of season 9, right? But let's just start where we left off, I guess, in Genji, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the best DPI settings for him, especially because you need to 180? And I've seen you or heard you talk about the DPI settings in one of your educational videos beforehand. Yep. But like, I don't know, it just seems complicated for me, to be honest, because there are also other settings like high precision movement in Overwatch, right? That's like the high precision movement.
Let me show you what I got. Let me show you what I got really fast. This is what I would recommend. You're going to go into your accessibility, I believe, here. Or is it controls?
Let me check.
Which one is it?
Okay.
I believe it's...
should be in controls. It's... where is this?
Wait, gameplay. Gameplay is where it is, I'm sure of it. Yes, it's under gameplay, general.
Enable high precision mouse input.
That's new. That's Overwatch 2 new, and that needs to be on. Okay. And then beyond that, obviously, if you have, like, what's your DPI right now?
My DPI right now is at 800.
Okay, 800. So then we'd want a sensitivity. You're talking about playing Genji a lot. I would say a sensitivity of at least 5. 5 would be a good ballpark. 5 or 6.
Because I have 7 right now.
Okay, so then that's not a problem. That's not, I wouldn't say is too high. That should mean easy 180s, but you're still arm aiming for anything that's not like minor adjustments. I have a sensitivity of around 3K, which means mine is a little bit, if I were to play, let's say, Genji here. Where is Genji? Okay. If I were to do like little minor movements here or any major movements, that's almost all arm aim, right? But I do that mostly because of the hero pool that I play. There's not a lot of Genji and Tracer involved. It's mostly like flex support and stuff like that. So this is what I play with. I don't necessarily recommend it for you. Where you're at right now, sensitivity is fine.
Okay, good. That's definitely what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem. Yep, you're totally fine where you're at right now.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, about like the graphics quality.
Yes.
I heard like from flats and stuff that some like effects and also like balloons and whatever. Balloons get turned off, and I watched like Karq's video on the perfect settings, but for me, I don't know, because I have a good system and I don't want to like not use my system in that sense. That
I see what you're saying.
Everything on low.
What I would recommend is the best video I found on it is IOStux has an old graphics guide. So I find it here. I would give this a check here and just follow what he says word for word, because he understands a lot of like what the graphic settings does. So I'd highly recommend checking that one out.
Okay, thank you so much.
2LER, he'll also tell you in that video like what are the ones that are okay to have higher, basically.
Okay.
So you'll notice a couple of things here, like for the texture quality, I have medium instead of low. I'll have medium on shadow detail as well. There's a couple of things that, like, if you have like a supercomputer, he'll let you know which one of these that you'll be able to turn up a little bit.
Okay, nice. Because also like some interesting details that you miss like every time, like Flat said in one of his shorts or something. That's,
sure.
When you have Zeus and Drunken Queen and she ults, and they're like zaps of lightning.
Yeah.
On the characters, right? That could be really good to discern characters, right?
Sure. Usually, I will say like those kind of things are relatively like small, but yeah.
But just for my point, right?
Yeah, of course, sure.
Okay, so that was that point of like graphics and settings and such. I want to ask about the rank system, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm very confused about the rank system because it is bugged, visually bugged. and the modifiers confuse me honestly as well. Even though they explain it, when I rank up and then I get I forgot what it's called, but you get a minus modifier because it tries to calculate if you're good to be in that rank, and then you get like minus 30.
So what modifiers are you not understanding fully?
The volatile. Oh, there we go. Volatile.
Okay, so let's start with volatile. So volatile is essentially the game isn't sure exactly where you belong MMR wise. There's a few reasons why that might be the case. The most common reason is going to be it's a new account, right? They're not 100% certain where you're being placed. The second most common reason, and the one that you're probably going to be running into, is that you haven't played the role a lot, or you haven't played the role in a long time. And so the game doesn't know, it's assuming that there's been some sort of skill decay, but isn't sure. So every win and loss is going to be amplified slightly because it's trying to recalibrate exactly where you belong.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense.
It just doesn't know exactly if you are here or if you're not here, so it's going to be more responsive to the wins and losses to what you give it.
The problem I have with it, though, is that the modifiers itself work, right? The visual effects of them. But if the bar is bugged, for example, like you're on 17% or whatever, and it shows you like that you're gonna rank up or whatever, and then, I don't know, you get a modifier, and then it's super confusing. And then
I'm not sure I understand.
To you is, do you trust that system?
So no, well, hang on.
Knowing which rank you're on, or which part
I'm not sure what part of the bar you're confused with. Describe what happens.
So, for example, I just now, like after finishing comp, I had a full bar. I won that game, and it showed me that I will rank up to Diamond 5, but my progress meter, the number itself, said 18%, right? And it showed me a green bar, right? But that bar didn't go anywhere.
I'm not sure I fully understand. If you get it again, screenshot it and send it my way. It's probably just a visual bug, but I'm not sure. I know one thing that does happen with a rank system is that it will drop when you are about to drop out of a rank. It will keep you in that rank a little bit longer, kind of like keep you visually motivated. But then if you lose again, it will show you that that you're being punished for it. In other words, let me actually show you what happens. So this will happen. Let's say you're Diamond 5, all right?
Yes. Exactly.
And this is your bar right here. All right, you got it? You need to click. You might need to click my profile picture to tab over to the other stream.
I watched him. Yeah. Okay.
You in?
Yes.
Okay. So you lose a game, you move down. You lose another game, you move down. Now, surely after you lose this game, you will lose your Diamond 5 placement, right? Well, no, actually you won't. What will happen is that this will drop just a little bit and stop right here, and it will still say that you're Diamond 5, but in actuality, the bar secretly has moved all the way into Platinum 1. You just don't see it yet. So what that means is that if you lose another game, not only will you drop to Platinum 1, not only will you drop to Platinum 1, but you'll lose the the invisible progress here that you didn't see. And so you won't lose a little bit if you drop your next game. You'll lose a lot of it because it's actually the hidden loss from your last game is encountered or is factored in as well. So this would drop down to Platinum 1, but basically what it means is that you don't get punished for your last loss here, but you do really get punished for your last loss here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It tries to encourage you to stay. Hey, you're still in Diamond 5 technically. Hang in there, buddy. Right? And then it's going to be like, all right, well, okay, maybe you do stink. You're going to get super punished now. That might also mean that if you win the game after this, right, you will only go up a tiny bit because the game thinks, yeah, you're technically in Platinum or just got back into Diamond 5. We're not convinced that you belong here yet.
Yes, that is true, and that works most of the time. The issue I have, though, is that if the visual bug is present, right? I don't have a screenshot ready. You don't know what part of the bar you are on. So you could be, right? Anytime, right? It doesn't matter which competitive game. If you win or lose,
Yeah.
even if you win, let's just say, you will always like not know where you are because you don't know from the progress bar, because if it's bugged, then you don't know which part you're on. It's always full or empty, or it doesn't show a precise percentage because it itself is confused.
So in that bug, I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
And it had happened to me where like I'm in the middle of my rank, right, and I get at least visually, I get a modifier of volatile, and I lose like 40%. And I'm in the middle of my rank, right? I'm in like a plat 1, or I just ranked up, right, to plat 1, and I won like 2 games, right, after that. And then after that, I lost 1 game, and I volatile lost all my rank from that plat 1, and I was basically back to beginning end of plat 2.
Yeah, at that point, I'm honestly not too sure. It might be that the game still considers you volatile. It might just be a bug in the new rank system that they're still working out the kinks with. I'm not too sure.
Okay. So I just wanted to ask that. And also expected is very confusing to me. Because sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm the highest rank in, like, for example, when I'm tank. Okay, I'm the highest rank here. But then they're like, I don't know, their DPS is the same rank as me, right? But the DPS has more value to the team, and then they win, and then I lose.
Expected is, to my understanding, is just the calculated average of every player on the team. Your rank plus your teammates. Well, it is fair, and unless there's like if you are plat, your teammates are all gold, and the enemy team has high gold players, but they don't have any plat players. If the average SR of your team is higher than the average SR of the enemy team to a significant amount, I don't know what that significant amount is. I don't know if it's 30 SR, 40 SR, 50 SR, higher, whatever, then you will get an expected modifier.
Yeah, but it doesn't balance it around the roles, right?
Yes and no, but I'm not so sure that that having some roles being considered more impactful than others is 100% true.
Yeah, okay. DPS passive. I don't know. Okay.
I understand the DPS passive, but you're still 20% of the contribution, and depending on different situations, like the problem with like deciding what role is more impactful is that's extremely tenuous science. I would say, especially at the highest level, in many ways at the professional Overwatch level, tank might be the most impactful role. Tank and DPS definitely, but yet right now it's very common for people to believe that for a long time support was the most impactful role, but that has almost never been played at the professional level to an extent. Yeah. But then it also depends on the hero, it depends on the meta, depends on the situation. And it also means it's not very trustworthy because human psychology tends to ignore indirect value. The people only favor what they can see with their eyes, and that always will be biased towards direct value, whether that's survivability or raw healing or raw damage. And so it's almost impossible to place an actual accurate modifier. It will be somewhere around 20%. If it's not perfect, that's may or may not be annoying, but you honestly should not even trust your own judgment. I don't even trust my own judgment on this topic. It's too tricky.
At least I was feeling it more actually than season 8 that rank hell exists, especially for like where I'm right now, right? Because I ranked up to plat 5, then I lost won 1 game, then lost 1 game, then I ranked down, then I got volatile, then I'm middle of plats, and then I can't rank up again that quickly, and you always you stuck unless you have like a 70% win rate or 80%. It's really tough, actually.
Interesting. I would have to know more about what you're specifically dealing with in the ranked experience. Sure. What I can tell you though is that I will generally be able to look at your play and tell you exactly if where you belong is where you belong, and give you a good ballpark estimate. So that might give you some insight, and then obviously, if nothing else, I'll tell you exactly what you need to work on, regardless of whether the rank system is bugged out.
You can be harsh on me. I have no issues on that, right? I can take some criticism. The last questions to let us flow into the match, right? Because I sent you a match. Is how do you view tanks in Season 9, especially because of the projectile and DPS passive? And it is confirmed that the DPS passive will change, right? And I want to ask, is the flank archetype of tank even possible anymore? Because I feel like the tank is like throwing or like it's not supposed to in Overwatch 2 do the flanking or the off main point off objective type of play anymore because there's no off tank.
So you're saying without off tank, is there a world where a tank?
Because you get punished so hard now as tank is because of the passive. That you can't do it. Like it is impossible.
Let's
at least for most tanks, maybe D.Va kind of.
Let's restart the stream here. You'll need to click off again.
Oh yeah, shit. Thank you.
So the question is what is an off angle, right? What is an off angle?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Well, it is not in the main objective of the main.
Maybe, but what if your entire team as a group of 4 people flanks around, and you're playing here on main? Is this an off angle?
Yeah, okay, then it is, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? An off angle is just a different angle. You could describe yourself as the main angle, and these guys are the off angle, or you could say they're the main angle, and we're off angle. Your job when you're taking an off angle is not to decide whether you're the off angle or not. Your job is just to create a multi-pronged approach. Whether you're number 1 or number 2, or it doesn't matter. It's the same thing, whoever wants. Now, if we introduce another angle, which one's the main angle now? You might say, well, the one that's on the objective. Well, what if you don't want to take an angle on the objective? What if the objective is here, right? And every single of the angles, and there's not a single person on the objective. Sometimes that's what you want to do, right? The point being is that when you're playing a tank, your job is not to play an off angle or a flank or play the objective. Your job is just to put yourself in the position to do the most pressure as possible.
And
sometimes
the most space.
That's it. So when you're playing Winston, what's your job?
My job is to create as much space as possible, and then.
How do you create space? Who are your targets? Who do you targets do you want? Who do you want?
Squishies.
Okay, so how do you get to squishies?
You jump
and so,
on them.
From where? Main, left, right?
Depends.
It depends, right? And that's it. That's it right there. Don't think about tanking as like creating off angles. Tanking is just getting on top of your targets. And that sometimes will involve off angles, but you have to look at the situation and be like, what's the best way for me to do this? Is it sometimes, like let's say the objective is here and the squishies are over here. They're back there, all right? Your probably best path here as a Winston would be to take a path over here and to not to go main because they're there, right? But what if, wait. What if there is a high ground here, right? There's a high ground platform right here. Hey, maybe you should actually go down main and then use the high ground to drop on them. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe you should flank around right side because actually this is a Reaper Moira and this is a Zenyatta. I'd rather go on the Zenyatta, so I'm going to go on the right side, right? So you're looking at things holistically that don't need to be looked at holistically. They're situational. You're asking me, is flank tank dead in Overwatch 2? No, absolutely not. It's just as available as it was in Overwatch 2 because in many ways, if you wanted to take angles as a tank, the enemy tank would stop you from taking angles. Like if I wanted to do flank Reinhardt, the enemy D.Va is sitting on me, well, it's kind of hard to do that, right? Depends on the situation. Your job is to find your targets, get your targets, and finish your targets. And you think about positioning, but don't think about off angles. Just think about what's a different position for me to go. If I'm playing Roadhog, am I flanking or not? I don't know. Who do I want to hook? How do I get there? That's it.
Not even let's say, okay, your example is perfect actually. If you're on the off angle, right, alone, you're more likely to get punished, right? Especially on tank.
Define punished.
Punished is when you make a play and it doesn't work, right? And then you get a feedback from the enemy team or enemy player.
Okay.
Like dying, like having low health, like using all your resources or ability or
Makes
something.
Makes sense. So
that is more likely to happen because, for example, let's just say Roadhog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to take off angle to create space. And then you get hit with a DPS passive. you have 20% less healing. So when you do your play and it fails, you can't get out, right?
Yes.
Because
it's harder to get out.
You're harder to get out.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so let me ask you a question. You say you try to make a play and you get punished, and you're more likely to be punished while on an angle, especially if you're a tank without mobility. That's true.
That's true, yeah.
Question is what plays can you do from here? With the enemy team's backline or priority targets here?
You can single people out, right? Or you can take this or distract. It depends, right?
Sure. Can you reach these targets from this position as a Roadhog? Just think outside the box for me for a second.
Sure.
But it's difficult. It's difficult, right?
Yeah.
And it's very easy for them, and this is the irony. It's actually very easy for them to punish you if you do that. Why? Because yes, you have an easier disengage route, but are you sneaky? Are you hard to track? Are you easy to shoot?
No, you're a big pig.
Right. Very easy. No, there's no element of surprise here. They could see where you're coming from. They could avoid you. They could punish you. They could do everything that you could do in a flank, and they could do it very easy. And the key thing is that you said, when you make a play, you get punished. But the key thing is are you making a play here? And the answer is no, you're not. So would you rather take a risk to make a play and get punished? Or would you rather play it safe, make no play, and kind of get punished almost as much?
But the value here is that you distract, right, the team. But the running away part is the tough part.
How do you distract people?
If they look at you.
Let me ask you a question.
Let
me ask a question. There is somebody at your front door right now.
Yeah.
Okay? And you see them outside and they're on your sidewalk. Bit of a distraction, right? Now there's somebody walking up to your front door and they're holding a smoking bomb. Which one's more of a distraction?
The smoking bomb.
The smoking bomb. A distraction is cataloged by its ability to threaten. A Roadhog here that is not as threatening as a Roadhog here, which Roadhog is more of a distraction?
The right one, yeah.
Why?
Because it's closer
It's
range.
more of a threat. It's more of a threat. When you're more of a threat, you're more of a distraction. So you go to here and you say, this is a distraction. And you're right. Of course, it's a distraction. It's a warm body. This is more of a distraction, a lot more of a distraction, even if you don't actually successfully make it.
Okay.
Now, again, I'm not clarifying here that you should be flanking. The reason why I like this position is simply because it's closer to the targets that I want to go for. That's it. If you could play here and you could reasonably and very easily threaten the squishies, or if you want to play here because your teammates are already over here, right? Like say your team's over here, you don't want to stack with them. Okay, it's fine. Do your job.
Okay.
Go for the targets that you need to go for. Make plays, take risks, take calculated risks. That's all. That's all you can do.
Okay, that was my questions for now.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you so much for answering.
Yeah, no worries. They were good questions. Now, I don't want to go through your form because you said that stuff is updated. Playtime, what do you feel is holding back from improving? Schedule, mentality, anything come up since last time that you would like to go over besides the general questions?
Anything that's come up. I made a second account to practice Genji. I guess that's like the most
sure
dramatic change I made, I guess.
Sure.
Just to like go to lower levels to see how good I am actually without like the rank bias I have right now. So going with a clean slate basically, just to see how good I am.
Okay.
Also, right, I want to talk about tank, and that's why I made this second meeting, and also Cassidy, right? That was also like my second DPS, because I kind of struggle now in that sense to find the value for him. I know you do too sometimes, especially when one of your videos only mid-range, right? Cassidy is only valuable like at his peak when he's in the middle of the pack in that sense, and using shooting at people that are in the middle, like 20 meters away max. Yeah, and I feel like close range you don't even want to shoot left click anymore. You just right click because you hit most of them anyway because of the projectile.
Depends on the reload time, and also keep in mind you can't headshot. So it depends. But yeah, I'm sure there's more times when that's okay.
The breakpoint, right, is 300 for that. And let's say, like, it always depends, right?
Of course.
But that breakpoint is really important for lots of characters now. Because they have so much health, you can just burst them down so easily. While other heroes have so much harder time to burst people down. Sure.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. One thing I will caution you about before we move on is you talked about like kind of restarting your Genji in a lower rank.
Yes.
As long as you quickly get out of that, that's okay. But keep in mind that you will not develop bad habits, but you won't be punished as much for some of the stuff because you are playing, at least for a period of time, at a lower level. So just be aware of that. So that I won't say you develop bad habits, but you don't want to make that a routine. You need to play at the highest level if you want to play at the highest level.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm already out of that. I have to play quick play right now because I can't play competitive unless I have like 51 matches, right?
Sure.
In quick play. And right now I have like played 25 matches, I think, like around 25 matches. And I have like a 75% win rate. Of course, like counting with the like 10 matches that were easy. So yeah, that's my goal right now, to get competitive. See my ranking there without that Overwatch 2 Season 8 bias of gold compression.
Right.
Like a full rank reset for me.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. And now I think it's a perfect lead way into the match.
Okay. Let's do it.
Do the honor.
Let's take a look here. So what tank is this going to be?
It's 3 tanks in total, but Winston most of the time.
Say Winston, okay. What are the other 2?
Zarya and the last one I can't remember, to be honest.
Sure. Which one's a priority for you?
Winston, definitely.
Winston's priority. Do you want to look at the other tanks, or do you want to stick with Winston?
We can look at the other tanks. Oh, Sigma, okay.
Okay, let's take a look. So why Winston?
Why
Just
Winston?
Enjoy the character?
Because I do enjoy the character. I like dive a lot, as you can tell from Genji. And I do like to play a bit more off-angle Cassidy. Because you can dive a lot.
Yep.
Because of the health, magnetic rate, and roll. There we go. And Winston is like Genji. You can dive onto people. Then you have your little space bubble. You chill your life if you survive, and then you jump out. That's the idea with Winston. And you jump on people that are low. Try to create pressure in that sense that you're always there. So if someone's low, you can instantly kill them with the punch, like jump and then punch and jump on them, and then they're like 90 HP gone already, and then they're dead. Yeah. That's the goal.
Sounds good. I'm curious to see if he gets any patch updates today. I would predict maybe a tiny nerf, and then plus alternate fire buffed would be my guess. That's my hope anyway. So we'll have to wait and see.
True. Also, I love the wiggly guy from that skin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the alt fire is so incredibly bad right now. So one thing you're going to learn to deal with Winston is you're going to need to learn some of the things I've been talking about a lot recently is super clean engages, super clean disengages. So one of the things that's really important is in situations like this, you know that they're on a Hanzo. You have tab available to you, right? It's been 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You could sit here and press right click. But is this Echo, is this Mercy a reasonable target for you to pressure right now?
Maybe. Because Mercy is very low right now.
Okay, but are you looking at the Mercy?
No.
Okay, so you're looking at the Echo.
I don't know about her, to be honest.
Right, so you're looking at a pocketed Echo who has her flight. Do not do this. Your job, as soon as you see a target that is outside of your control, is to hide from them. Because this is where the DPS passive really kicks you in the butt. Yeah, because it's not only the DPS passive, but things like this forces cooldowns, breaks armor, maybe even forces your bubble, worst case scenario. And more importantly, it distracts you from the things that you should really be focusing on. Well, you know exactly what that is on your screen.
Yeah.
You needed to be hiding and avoiding this, dealing with this, or hiding and avoiding this, and then jumping this, right? You cannot take unnecessary damage right now. Because ultimately, while you're creating space here by bubbling, it's extremely inefficient use of space.
Okay.
Extremely inefficient creation of space, and then ultimately one that's going to kill you. It's not good enough to create space as tank. You got to create space better than the other tank and more efficiently than the other tank.
Mm-hmm.
Take less damage, do more damage, force more kills, force more CDs, demand less healing, all that kind of stuff. See, this is good because it's not perfect, but do you see how little damage you've taken?
Yes.
Right? You've also let the DPS passive expire, so you're less of a burden to your supports. And you still were able to zone out Hanzo and Mercy almost effortlessly.
Yeah.
Like even here, like this is, tickle damage, I guess. But what's the point of this? Again, what should your mindset be right now? What should you be thinking about?
Where's my next target to jump on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how do you set up for that? I mean, this is a very difficult point, to be very clear. Like there is not a really clean, easy way to do this on defense. But there are certainly better choices, certain better adjustments in where you are right now.
Okay. The issue I think I had with this game was like that the Doomfist was already was worrying me because if I jump on somebody, he just punches me out of the bubble, and then I'm locked out from anyone.
So then when do you jump on somebody?
When the Doomfist is punching in.
Or engaging in, right? Right? So you could give up space and react to him trading your backline, because if he never dives your backline and you never dive his backline, your backline has a better position, and then we just win the game because they don't cap the point.
Yeah.
You wait. If he wants to go in, okay, then I go in on trading your backline. And you got to know when and where. So when we talk about ignoring Doomfist, it's not about ignoring him as a person, but ignoring him as a target.
Yeah, okay.
And not even all the time. Like if you want to sit far away here and just throw right clicks at him, you'll do more damage to him than he'll do to you. That's fine. You just sit here and pop right clicks, but not here. And certainly not to the point to where it's going to force your bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Because even here, you know the Ana's there, and yet you still want to go for Doom because you're like, oh, he's kind of low. Doesn't matter. His HP is still 50, 100 more than the Ana, right? Turn the Ana. Deal with the Ana. Because this Doomfist is happy because he's thinking, oh, I forced bubble, and I never really put myself at any serious risk. You're getting carried by your Widow here. And even here, it's like, okay, well, that's unfortunate. Your job is to jump squishies. That is your job. And pressure squishies. And to do so as efficiently as you possibly can while taking as little damage as you possibly can. Especially with the DPS passive nowadays. I like to look at like the Winston as a character as like the litmus test if you're a good tank. Not because Winston is like necessarily like, there's not a lot of like transferable skill necessarily, but one skill that is transferable for Doomfist, Diva, Sigma, Rein, Orisa players is, do you know how to just stop taking damage? And if you don't know how to do that, you don't know how to play tank.
Yeah.
So
but especially now in Season 9.
Exactly. So if you could play Winston really smart with your engages, with your disengages, oh, I don't have a CD, I don't have any shield, I don't have my cooldowns, I'm not shooting a target that's good, I'm standing out in the open, I'm not using cover. If you can't do that in Season 9, then you're going to not be able to play tank.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Right, exactly. And it's something you probably already know, but a little slap at the face here and there. Hey, wake up, Like even this here, right? Like this is not a terrible target, but you probably need to know that this is probably not your priority target right now. This needs to be a target that you avoid. Who should you be jumping here?
The Ana.
Or
the Cass. Or
the Cassidy, right? And in addition to that, how should you be staging right now? Should you be peeking right here?
What do you mean by staging?
Well, you tell me. What do I mean by staging?
I don't know.
What does staging mean?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know the word.
That's okay. I'm not sure if it was just not somebody fully. Okay, so staging basically means setting up. Okay. Sometimes it could be elaborate, right? So like let's say that you're looking to attack here and you want to jump this back high ground. Staging might mean that you jump up here, you clear the high ground, and you hide, you get healed by your team. And then you jump up to here, right? It might be a 2-step process, or it might just simply be, hey, idiot, don't peek these guys here. Set up by hiding close to here. Because who wins this trade right here? Face to face with what you can see here.
The Ana.
The Ana or the Echo or both. They're just going to poke you out, right? You're going to take unnecessary damage. So even if it's for the alternate fire, that might change today, but even then it's still not smart. Avoid taking this, because look at the time by the line on the Echo, look at your HP.
True. It just disappeared.
Just disappeared, right? And it disappeared at a time when your team couldn't even do anything. They couldn't even see the backline. Thank you for jumping the Ana. Obviously avoid him. Now go find him. You might even go for the Mercier because she's not Valking. That would probably be your best target. Cassidy is not a bad target, but Mercy's going to be a little bit more attractive when you're primaling because you have jumps so fast, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I need to practice my short jumps as well. Just jumping into Winston. So hard.
I want to say that I have a primal code here. Let me see if do you have a primal code to work with?
No.
Okay. Give me a second here. I'm going to start. Give me 1 second here. I think it's one of these. I need to actually have these labeled because there's only a couple codes that I think are musts. And I think primal code is one that is very beneficial.
Yeah. I also had some good quick play matches with it where I did do some massive plays basically in primal with distracting and kills, but there's just the consistency, right?
Right.
That you have to work on.
I don't think this is it.
Well,
this isn't it. This is.
It's my weakness, the consistency part. On one day I'm good, and on the other day I feel terrible.
Practice, mentality, and sleep. That's about all you can do. Okay, so these aren't working. Bump me in 2 days if you have not heard about a primal code, and I will get you.
Sure.
But yeah, okay. I do think that is something to practice. Hollywood.
Okay. Right here. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, the match was a week ago.
Yeah.
Crazy how time flies.
Time flies when you're dropping rank.
Yeah, true. I didn't drop actually. I stayed in the same rank.
All right. So reset. Next fight.
Reset.
Oh, we get a recontest here. Good. Drop the bubble. Good. I'm just gonna lose this fight, but that was fine. Pleased to see you going for the correct targets. I think what ends up happening is a little bit of, you should be jumping on Cassidy, but when that Doomfist presents himself, you're just like, I have to shoot that guy. I have to prevent him.
Yeah.
And just be very aware of sometimes it's best to do nothing. Like even right now, it might be okay because the enemy backline is pretty much like out of the fight, right? But it might not. Like there's a real concern here that maybe your job here is just to kind of let the Doomfist do his thing and instead use that opportunity to, here's the word, stage.
Okay.
You see Doomfist go top, remember, he's not going to come back and punch you now. So you're going to crouch, and you don't even have to use your jump. You're on top of the backline.
Yeah.
As opposed to here, where it's like, okay, so now you've got people in front of you. You don't really know where the Ana is. You don't know where the Cassidy is. And you're also allowing them space to take angles and to take flanks. Your job is to stop them from doing that by being a threat.
Okay. Yeah, true.
And certainly here, I would be trying to avoid this Echo. I want to get into that Ana if I can. Your Widow's, like I said, really, really carrying it because basically while you're just being a punching bag for the enemy DPS without really posing any threat, your Widow is getting kills. Okay, let's wait until this actually resets here.
It takes a long while actually.
That's all right. That's all right.
Because my Ashe here is camping that spot here.
I mean, if that's what she's doing, yeah. I mean, it's fine. I would go as far to say though, where should you be staging? Right. This is not something that they teach you in school.
Yeah, definitely not.
So how on earth do you spawn camp here?
I don't know. You go around wide, I guess.
What is your job? What is your job? Open. Your job is to shoot squishies, right? Shoot squishies without taking any damage. So where could you do that?
Well, with bubble or without bubble?
With bubble, preferably, because you're not going to be engaging without it most of the time.
Okay. So, but jumping on them is like a death sentence.
Yep, you got it.
Honor. So the only thing I can do is really just try to go close range, maybe on the left side of the VIP.
So like here?
Yeah, here, yeah.
Yeah, this would be good. Maybe. Just kind of sit in here and listen, and then you could walk out here and drop bubble and zap from here. That would be much, much better than what you're doing right now. Much better. Yeah, much more of a threat. Yep. But remember, you have to know what you're looking for. Don't memorize this position for future, because you probably will never have, this will probably never happen again.
Yep.
But what are you looking for? You need to know the principle. And to give you credit, you answered it correctly. Nice job.
Okay, nice, yeah.
You did it. You know what you're looking for, so do it.
But then I'm like, oh my god, the cast is gonna throw a magnetic grenade from spawn to hit me.
Right, but remember, you're saving your jump here too, right? Yeah. And so it's about managing that lethality. Because I can still just jump out. I'll probably just disengage here. I think you could get out if you're quick, but it needs to be now. Because even with a Tracer dead, you're still like down. I don't think I commit Primal here. Just because you've got 2 members of your team dead. So unless you see like the freest kill in the history of the universe, maybe, and definitely now get out. Yeah, there you go. Good. So you kind of see what I'm saying? Like, it would have just been more efficient for you just to fully disengage and then have Primal now. But yeah, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. I love this staging. There's the word again for what you're doing right now. You're setting the stage for a beautiful performance. Why? What do you have here?
I have a good flank.
You have a good flank, right? Now, remember, we want to go back to what we talked about in paint. Why does the flank matter? Why is the flank helpful? Because what's the end goal with Winston?
To stay close range and kill squishies.
That's it. And this flank lets you do that because you can go drop right here and you're perfect. You're right on top of the targets that you want and you can save your jump. That's it. It's not because flanking is OP with Winston necessarily. It's just right now, it gets you close to squishies. Now, do not go backwards. You have to trust your team here. Because who has the better engage? You or this Winston?
Yeah. I have the better engage.
Why?
Because I'm on high ground. That's the big issue.
Difference. But he's on high ground now, right?
Yeah, so but then he's alone because he is the only one on
But
high
you're
ground.
Alone.
My entire team is on high ground, so they can see me.
Okay, but that's that. But I'm not talking about your team. I'm talking about you. If your team was on the floor here, you would still have the better engage here. Because what is the enemy Winston doing right now? You see it?
He's jumping on my
Jumping. Team. You are not jumping. You're dropping. You have the advantage.
Okay. I don't know what I do there.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So his reward is the same as yours. In fact, his reward might even be a little bit higher because if he can get the landing damage, you're not going to get landing damage. But his risk is significantly higher. I mean, heck, might even get coach gun here because he's jumping and not dropping. You see that?
True. Yeah.
So this is where your reward is a little bit lower than his, but your risk is like half. If not more.
No, little, because there's also the healing pylon. Also, like
that's true. That's true.
Setup.
So while he's risking his life, you're not risking your life, and that also might mean that you will take less damage and that you could jump in again sooner. Or assuming that you play this right. So don't go backwards. Just drop. Drop the bubble here. This is just you kind of get lost in the sauce. You lost the Ana Cassidy.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. This is just a mechanical error, right? I don't think dropping here is bad. You just needed to know that the Ana was there. Because if you know the Ana's here, then you bubble. And then you're able to bubble and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and dance and dance and shoot and shoot and dance and shoot and dance and shoot and dance and shoot. And you jump out. And actually you jump out at almost full HP, whereas this poor guy is getting like actually torched. He was at 300, 250 HP and he's demanding resources and so on. So your mistake here is just mechanical. Your staging was good. Your timing was good. Your targeting was okay. But then you just lost the targets that you're going for.
Yeah.
That's it.
True, yeah.
I would just honestly reset at that point. Okay, so I want to see if there's any more Winston before we move on.
I don't know.
I want to say no. Yeah, I see no more Winston. So, I see a little bit more. Let's just get a teeny bit more. Oh, a little bit more than a little bit more. We got a couple of fights here. Okay, they swap here. Let's find out. Winston's a good pick here. High ground's good. Their comp is very good to play Winston into. Diva's a little tricky, but lots of good squishies to shoot. And this is where, again, DPS passive.
Yeah.
Once this happens here and your bubble breaks, and then she eats the ultimate, what should she be doing right now?
Run.
Just drop, right? You've done your job. You've contested. You've created space. You've been a threat. Your bubble is gone. You are no longer a threat. So unless this Genji is 1 HP and you're going to finish this kill, there's no point staying here anymore. You're doing more damage, yes, but they're doing more damage to you too. So what's the point? This is not a fair trade.
Man, my old mindset is so coming back to bite me, because I thought always back in the day it was also like when you had armor, you were like really tanky. Because armor was like a good like value of like, if you have armor, you can go in, because then you're like way more tanky than just having like being naked. Sure. Regardless of whatever the case it may be, this is the equivalent of like working at McDonald's, right? And you're being paid $40 an hour for the first 3 hours that you work, okay? And then after 3 hours, you're paid $5 an hour, okay? Yeah. Why would anyone work more than 3 hours per day at that point? It's inefficient. True. At that point, you might as well just go home and relax, chill, clean up your house, maybe find another part-time job or something like that, right? Like there's no, you will be getting money here, but you'll be spending so much effort for so little return. And not only your effort, but your supports have to sweat just to keep you up. Your Ana should be playing Kovacs and shooting people, not healing you. Okay. It's not efficient. And then also what happens is the worst case scenario is that you take so much damage that then your bubble becomes available and you're still not full health. And so you can't engage, right? Yeah. That happens sometimes as well. Okay, find your next target, find your next target, find your next target. It's like right now you should be full HP because you would have disengaged faster. I just got pooped from the diva. That's all right. I'm just chilling my life here. That's all right. Right, and remember, this is about to be McDonald's $5 an hour, right? Do not jump this. Just chill. You're jumping here. Just wait. I think my Hanzo was there. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not gonna help him that much. I'm gonna chill. If they start to look at the Hanzo and they die of the Hanzo, maybe I'd go now. But see, the difference between going now and going then is that I'm 1 second away from bubble now. So now I'm getting the $40 an hour again, right? Like I'm actually useful, right? Whereas now it's actually, you're going out when you have bubble because you need to grab a health back. So this is fine. I appreciate that you're going for squishies. It looks like you're using some cover. You're using some high ground. It's good. Just, you're very useful and you're very bad. Remember that. Don't forget it. Yeah. That's what makes Winston the most cyclical tank in all of Overwatch. More than Junker Queen, more than Orisa with Fortify. Winston Bubble is the difference between the most powerful character in all of Overwatch and the worst character in all of Overwatch. It's like Genji. Way more so than Genji, because even Genji without cooldowns can do more than Winston. Do a lot more than Winston. Winston is literally awful without cooldowns. We also have the cycle though. Like the the cycle. Yes, every character has a cycle. Winston is just an insane cycle, like an actually insane cycle. Okay, so chill. Stage. How could you access squishies more efficiently than the way that you're about to do it right now? I don't know, to be honest. You flex the muscle. Let's go. Flex the muscle. Let's go. You're at it. This is a good start. Okay, where should you go from here? I went high ground. I think to chase somebody, and then. The best idea would probably, without like jumping here, go to the left maybe, or jump down. Here? Yeah. And then go more like, because you have Mega here, so you could pressure the supports from that side. And if you're low, you could go to Mega. Sure. Yeah. Works for me. Here's another option as well. That's a dropping noise, okay? I feel like you're back in like watching Tom and Jerry cartoons or something. But yeah, you gotta... Because this is bad, not because, you should be flanking, but it's because it's too far away from the targets that you want to go and too close to the targets that you don't want to go to. Yeah. That's all. And so now you're gonna get your bubble forced, and you've not been a threat. And you've not been a threat to anybody. That's it. Take less damage by staging properly. That's it. Even here, I don't think I want to use my bubble here because I'm useless now. I know I'm helping my team, but you know how I can block for my Widow and Hanzo? Jump the squishy and bubble the squishy. Yeah. Would you rather bubble to protect, or would you rather bubble to protect and be a lethal threat at the same time? Yeah. Right? Because then this is the irony, is that you're like, I'm going to go back and actually jump in. But now you are actually very punishable. Yeah, true.
even here, right? I might be thinking more about where's that soldier, right? And then making sure that I have bubble when I can jump. But yeah, I think just looking for a better target here. This is all good though. You have your primal. Good. Probably stay in that Mercy until or Kiriko. This is fine. Either one is fine. Just stay on a target. Obviously a little bit of primaling here. That's okay. This is all right.
It's so hard to target for me.
That's okay. You got to stay focused. You got to stay focused. The best way to practice your primals is to lock on one target and practice the juggling on the one target. I would not say that this was a bad fight from you, though. It started a little messy. You wasted your bubble. Target priority was a little bit off, but honestly, it wasn't too bad. Okay, and then we pivot to Zarya. So let's take some notes with Winston, and then I think we'll have time to look at one more tank really quickly.
Okay, so, thank you so much. Yeah.
No problem. What are you seeing with Winston? What needs to be practiced?
Some mechanics and targets. So lock on, especially on squishies, because I was switching between targets so much while looking at that replay. And I wasn't really killing anybody, especially on the 10 seconds cooldown. I was focusing the Mercy and then the Ana, then the Mercy, then the Kiriko.
You're more of a threat, more of a distraction when you're more of a kill threat. So even if you don't secure the kill, focusing on one target allows you to provide more value to your team because it scares the enemy more. Okay. What about staging? What is staging?
So staging is basically, for me, I would explain it like planning an opportunity to attack. If you could explain it that way.
Yeah, that's a great way to explain it. That's a great way to explain it. It's perfect.
Okay, good.
Finding a position.
And basically, you're making a strategy, right? Let's just say if you have jump and bubble, for example, then you have the opportunity to go in squishies and prepare an opportunity with your team to
correct.
Basically synergize that's
it
when I drop or whatever.
That's it. These are the targets that I want to go for. How do I get there? You might have to do it with one, just jump. There you are. You might just drop. There you go. But sometimes you might have to jump.
Bubble? Am I going to survive that?
Right. Sometimes it might take a couple of steps. Like you might need to jump and then pause and then jump again and then wrap around. Like especially on maps that are tricky, you might have to kind of have a multi-step process to get to the targets that you want to. Okay. And then finally, target priority. I guess more like clean ins and outs, no gray zone. This is something I talked a lot about recently with Winston. Avoid taking unnecessary damage when you are not lethal jumping with bubble. Even for alt fire. Does that make sense?
Clean in the out, no gray zone, avoid taking unnecessary damage. When you're non-lethal jumping in bubble. Yeah, true.
Don't bleed HP when you don't need to.
Yeah.
That compromises your ability to actually kill people when it actually matters. That even goes for when your bubble breaks, right? Your bubble breaks, probably time to get out unless somebody's won. Because you're just going to start losing HP quickly. Okay, Zarya or Sigma? We'll look at a couple of fights. Which one?
Okay, I would say Zarya I was most likely struggling on, so yeah, Zarya.
I want to say it's just the end there with Zarya, I think.
Yeah,
just the end.
Okay. Sig is like has more gameplay, so.
Well, it's up to you. Which one's the priority for you? We'll be able to give you some feedback with Zarya. Trust, but it's up to you.
Okay.
You want Zarya?
Let me do one fight with Zarya, and then we do like one fight.
Let's do it. All right, Zarya is exactly like Winston in some aspects because your bubbles are used to take space. Your Zenyatta is not taking space right now. Why?
He's
Where is he? He's backing off. He does not need your bubble. You will sometimes miss bubbles because you think, oh, the person's not engaging, they're behind cover, and then they die. But you know what? I don't care. I would rather you make that mistake. Okay. I would rather you let people die who are not taking space or not surviving enemy engages than for you to waste bubbles. Because right now, who needs bubbles to take space right now?
I do, and
you do.
Whoever is in front of me.
You do. How do you make space as a tank? How do you make space as Winston? How do you make space as Zarya?
With Zarya, you're the...
Could you ready for this? Ready for this? I'm interrupting you. I'm sorry. You do damage. Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
You do damage. With Winston, you do damage to squishies, preferably. Zarya, you prefer to do damage to squishies too, but you don't have the mobility to get there, so you just shoot whatever you can. Let's go.
It's like a circle. And Zarya is the circle's a bit bigger, but you have no mobility. But
That's
Winston, the circle's
got
a bit
it.
smaller, right?
That's it. That's it.
The kill
Let's
radius.
do damage. You need bubbles to do damage. Walk forward to do damage. You are not taking space right now because you're full HP. Well, you are taking space, but it's not. Your bubble isn't needed. Your bubble is what allows you to do things that you otherwise would not be able to do. Let me ask you a question. Could you walk from here to cart safely?
With 2 bubbles, yes. With no bubbles, no.
I disagree. I think from what I see on my screen right now, I think you could walk all the way to here without using a single bubble.
Really?
Yep. Look what's on your screen right now. What's on your screen?
Diva firing missiles. Right
Diva
now.
firing missiles at like 65 yards, right? Like she's across the map. Walk forward.
But there's no damage fall off though.
Doesn't matter. It's missiles. It's like 100 damage. Your supports have got nothing else better to do. You can take 100 damage.
Okay.
Your bubbles are not infinite resource. Because when I get to here, do you think I want a bubble to walk on this diva? Do you think I'm going to want a bubble to walk on this flank here to shoot these squishies? Absolutely. I need bubbles. So let me ask you a question. What's more important? To have a bubble now?
No.
Or to have a bubble now?
Now, yeah.
And not just one bubble.
It comes up.
It comes up. It comes up. But I want you to have 2 bubbles, not 1 bubbles. I need bubbles for now. And what you will do is when you think of bubbles like this, instead of opportunities to get charge, you ironically will build more charge this way. Because let me ask you a question. When are they going to shoot you? Over here? Or when you're actually pushing them and shooting them here?
Yeah, definitely there, yeah.
And then you also get the charge when it matters, which is when you're actually doing damage. So right now, do damage. Do damage. Do damage. See, even here, you use your bubble here, but really, how much pressure are you under right now?
Yeah,
Who's shooting you right
I thought they're gonna pressure me here.
Don't think. Don't think, react.
Yeah, okay, true.
Let yourself take damage. It's okay. The only time that you ever should predictively use a bubble is when?
When you get ulted.
Sure. Or sleep dart, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a widow headshot, maybe, because that's 300 damage. That's a lot of burst, right? But you can react. You can react.
Okay.
Remember, it's the same thing when you're bubbling a teammate. Oh, never use it unless it's earned. Mm-hmm. You are taking space right now, but they're not punishing you for it. So don't use a bubble. Because right now, you need to be way more egotistical and also way higher charge, and you're not.
Yeah.
Do damage. No damage. Bubbles make you do damage. Even this here. I want you to physically walk forward with this bubble and do more damage.
Okay.
Just a little bit more aggressively. Still stay in the corner, but yeah. You have a bubble. Do damage.
Yeah, now.
Don't bubble now. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. Don't. You see, you're shooting before you're not reacting. You're predicting. Don't react.
Yeah,
don't predict.
I'm predicting that. Yeah, true.
Exactly. And so now,
I can prevent damage now. So if they shoot at me, I can shoot freely. But
and that almost kills you right there. You see that?
True.
That almost kills you. You should have done more damage.
Yeah, true.
You should have been able to be more aggressive.
Yeah, that's the issue with this point. Yeah.
And that's it. And that's all it takes. And you see how simple this is, right? Very simple. Make them earn your bubbles. I could tell you that when I play in pugs, that's the single thing that keeps me at like a master's level with Zarya. My mechanics are terrible. I'm terrible at like figuring out when I should alt fire versus when I should beam. But I greed my bubbles. I earn every single bubble that I use, and I just win games off of it. So, Zarya.
Nice.
Zarya. Earn your bubbles. Use them to take space. React. React. Don't predict outside of hard CC. Ults. That's it. Make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Sigma. And this is where the beauty of Overwatch comes in, because what is Sigma's job? Sigma's job to shoot
and always
squishies. Shoot. Do damage. Do damage. Who should you be shooting right now?
Then the werewolf's targeting right now.
Should we be shooting? We shoot the cast. More impact, higher percentage of his health pool done through shooting him instead of chipping down the Winston. Nice rock.
Yeah.
Pretend that was on purpose.
Some mechanics, yes.
Let's go. Get her. You have the HP for it. Go.
Yeah, then the bubble actually blocked my...
That's all right. You know, you actually successfully hold here. I want to look for something, especially if we're going to only be looking at a little bit. I'd rather look for something where you're under a little bit more sweat. Like, let's look
I
at
think
this
it was
first.
like more first points or something.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. Okay.
Because that's always a hard point to take, to be honest, for me.
It is, yeah. It's a hard point in general. All right, let's go. You got HP, you got cooldowns, shoot squishies, just like Zarya. You have your cooldowns, you have your shield, you have your HP, you can walk forward. Nice. Shoot squishies. Keep shooting. Their comp's a little awkward. You know, it's definitely like, what do I actually shoot here? But you start with the thing that you can reach and you go from there. Okay, nice job.
Yeah. Okay, I just walk on them. Okay, they didn't even push back there.
I mean, they were picked off early, so yeah, it makes
Okay.
sense. Okay, let's keep going here.
Yeah.
Get off the cart.
Yeah.
She's got it handled. How are you going to reach people shooting on high ground by being on the floor?
Yeah.
Now, if nobody's on cart, okay. But there's somebody on cart, move. You need to be here so that you can shoot squishies.
But it's 20% faster, and more number is better.
That's true. That's true. Excellent. Oh, you almost got him. Good try. Go get him. You have HP. Let's go. Good.
Oh my god, my mechanics.
Ay.
Yeah, my mechanics.
Get up on the high ground. Let's go. Get up there. Shoot squishies. Now, you don't have to physically be on top of people like you do with Winston or maybe even Zarya to an extent. You do have some range, but if you can't quite reach them, fix that problem. Solve the problem, right? This has been okay. No, I mean, this has been all right. Sigma is very difficult on this point with how big it is.
Yeah, I thought it was good because like poke is pretty good against so far.
Yeah, it's all right. It's just such a large map that it might be difficult to... I could flux this, yeah. I might even just flux... Oh, that's a big flux, yeah. No comment on that?
Yeah, don't comment on that.
Oh, my days. Well, just relax with this. You just don't... You're shooting as soon as you're pulling. Give yourself like a quarter of a second to realign your crosshair. And as you get better, you'll be able to do it faster. But you're not good enough to do it this fast. So slow it down. Because if you hit this volley here, she dies.
True.
And then crucially, you would have been able to hold high ground there instead of having to drop the chase.
Yep.
Because this fight just really goes out of control because of that. I would say that's a good general rule for Sigma anyway, on a slippery to hit targets. It's just to slow things down. Okay, so Sigma.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Shoot squishies. If you have CDs, HP, take more aggressive angles. Slow
Do you have
down
any
the
maps
fire.
on that? For
One second.
Sigma, like the rock and the flux, and so where I can practice.
Do you have any codes for practicing that?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your question was like, do you have any codes
yeah,
to practice
maps
it?
for that. Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't.
Okay.
There might be one, but honestly, I don't think you just need to go into a game, and your entire focus of playing Sigma that game is to make sure that you hit the combos properly on your ult. That's your entire focus.
Okay. And to hit every shot when I'm ulting.
That's it. Every
Doesn't matter how
shot.
slow.
That's it. Just hit the shot. Hit the shot. Now you could also what you could do is you could do Vaxta. You know, are you familiar with Vaxta? I think we talked about Vaxta, right? Vaxta. I will drop it in here. You go in here. This is probably actually going to be your best way to do it now that I think about it. Vaxta, you're going to grab Sigma. You're going to go to start warm up. And you're going to start with ult. And then you're going to go whoop.
True. Okay, that's good.
See? It's harder than it looks. I just whiffed my first one. No, it's me.
That was perfect spider right
There it is. See, I got that one. There you go. I'm the best. Kind of missed that one again. I didn't get a full one.
It's not that easy.
No, it's not. It's not. But this would probably be your best. You also get different hitboxes here.
Okay.
You could also get the landing combo as well. So you get like the up combo, bam, and then bam, bam on the landing as well.
But do you really need that for like the 250 HP squishy?
You do if they're getting healed, and most of the people that you're going to be fluxing will be getting healed.
Okay.
Right? So you just do this over and over again until you get it. Till you're better than me. If you're better than me, then you're cooking.
Okay,
Won't take you too long, surely. All right. Any questions?
Sure. Like, how do you like the dynamic of Overwatch now?
I enjoy it.
The like change dramatically? Because for me, it's like there's a lot of things that changed from my old views of like, okay, armor was strong, and then shield usage, and you play with your the tank, and a lot of things changed for me, to be honest. And my question to you is that also a perspective that you see? Is there something else? Is this the same Overwatch for you?
The same Overwatch, just small adjustments, small details. There's more freedom for DPS to take more solo off angles. Tanks are punished more for being sloppy with their ins and outs, which we talked about with the Winston.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit more flexibility with target priority depending on the DPS. Like you can be a little bit more comfortable shooting tank if your angle is good, but a very, very small adjustment, nothing revolutionary. I think in general, first-person shooters and Overwatch specifically, still the same game. There's just some of the details are a little bit different. I think it's very fun and exciting to think about those details, but in reality, they're details for a reason. They're just details. They don't. Good players and will be good players, and that's it. Nothing really changes all that much. Some of the et ceteras, but you play good Overwatch, you'll be fine.
And then another question is for the balance change, right? Is it today?
Yes, and just 1 hour.
Okay. In 1 hour, okay. Then I guess Winston will get changed, right?
Potentially.
And the DPS passive.
Potentially.
Potentially, right? But the DPS passive definitely. Is there, if there is a change coming to Winston, let's say alt fire, it's the same way you play? Like
same thing you play him now. Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. The only thing that might potentially change is if alt fire is changed. It's more of a priority to land that in midair as you're jumping early.
Okay.
You still want to zap when you're landing whenever you can. Zapping when you're landing is incredibly important. But if you could get the alt fire right as you jump or right before you jump and then land with zaps, that's optimal. Unless they buff the ultimate fire to 150 damage, what they won't. It'll be a tiny little buff, then nothing has changed. You still don't want to be poking DPS that are going to be doing too much damage to you, for the most part.
Also, another question I want to add on to that is, because Winston used to be, right, before Season 9, that you could punch to spare some ammo, right, to have the same DPS.
Yes.
Is it still like that?
Yes.
Because of the punch and all the health pools changes?
Yep. In fact, it's even slightly better because your 30 to 40 melee damage was generally slightly higher. It's actually double in terms of the HP increase than most. Most heroes gained like 20, 25%, 15% HP. Punch got a 33% buff, 30 to 40. So punch is more important than it was before. It's not crucial, but it is pretty important.
Yeah, that was the one question I always asked myself. It's like, is it really more efficient?
It's good, but you have to land the punch, which is the important thing. But yes, if you land the punch, yes, it's definitely worth the land.
Okay, good to know, definitely. Yeah, and then I would just say for the ending phrase, I guess, I'm excited to see the patch, to be honest. And
Me too.
Excited for, the new tips and tricks and to
we'll see how it
actually
goes.
use them properly.
We'll see how